Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Um, I was just blessed with a bit of a toast with cheese and stuff like that. It's amazing how the wife knows when I'm going to start the stream, and she brings stuff like that to me. So anyway, I'll finish it as the stream goes on. I'll just mute myself. Very, very welcome, and yes, same to you, Jose. Happy New Year. We are currently flying from Dublin. This is real time. This is what explained the pics for us in real time. And Martin, good morning to you too. I haven't said good morning to you in text. Sorry about that. Just my hands were a little bit full. I am continuing on my Ryanair route. So I'm also going to show you just a quick trick to add a little um, waypoint just before the VOR if this is the same route. I didn't do much planning. I just simply recall it from memory. So we'll have a good bash at that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll revisit the educational bits later. Martin, not kidding. It's very hot in Australia, bushfires, all these things. Even in South Africa, it's very hot. We don't have the bushfires. But man, it's hot here in the southern hemisphere. I'm used to it to a certain extent, at least. If I go to the northern hemisphere, I'm gonna feel the cold. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna freeze my butt off unless I get the proper setup going there. So you guys know better than us down here. We don't see snow unless we drive for a couple of 100 kilometers. And good morning, Krister. I've done quite a bit of setup already. I'm quickly going to connect to the IVAO network for today's flight. So we're using the new client. This will be my second flight using that one. So I'm hoping it works as nice as yesterday. I will be doing Ryanair 5 Juliet Papa this morning. Alright, and that's just to say we have connected. Jason, I've been reading some of Friends and Family because I mean there's a lot of South Africans in Australia right now. So I've read a lot of posts. People are crying, people are worried, people are scared. It's not fun sleeping on the beach, having a warship come and save you, and all these things. So my heart goes out to you guys. Hope you guys will be okay. And good morning, Kevin.
Nico.
Hello, Uncle John.
Nico, quickly, I do apologise. I've got like a Morse code continuous single beep going off. Any idea?
Yeah, look at my screen. Can you see my screen? Uncle John, where are you? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'm watching.
Alright, just switch off the marker. That button there, it's got like a little light in it. Just click it. See if
Bless
that
you,
helps.
sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Orbital placement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 and 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition 750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. 2.4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have line.
I've also just started my Ryanair client. Martin, correct. Yeah, I hope normality comes back very soon.
Orbital placement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 and 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition 750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. 2.4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29.
5 Juliet Papa. That's correct.
Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH 1032.
Guys, somebody asked me in the week to do a tutorial on route 2. It's not been implemented yet, so it's kind of pointless. I just want to point that out. There's no point in doing route 2 if it's not enabled yet. We'll have to wait for Zibo to do that.
Ordinal casement
Our
information.
departure is going to be
Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10.
1
Sky
Alpha,
conditions 700
Dex
at 8.
1 Alpha. I'm not sure what that VOR is called or
2,700
what that
scattered.
is called. Let's
16,000
have a look,
broken.
see it there.
Temperature 5.
Navigraph quickly.
4. Area QNH 1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing
Runway 28.
Advise on initial contact you have mine.
Departure. Alright, we're turning the other way around. We're not using the VOR, so it's pointless to put another waypoint in there right now. In the old days, the Zibo mod had a hell of a struggle to make the turn to go up towards that VOR, and we always had to put an additional waypoint about 4 miles from it. Around about there, I think it was. So I just thought maybe I'd show you that, but we'll figure something out later. We can look in the training this evening of doing it a different way. Good morning, Bob. I was thinking about you. I wanted to show you how to put that extra waypoint in there for the VOR, but I see we're turning the other way around, so we'll have to do that later.
Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH 1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine.
John, hold on. Look for MKR. The button is called MKR. It's the marker. Just switch that off.
Ordinal casement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH 1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine. Ordinal casement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 700.
Check on the second radio as well, John. There's the marker. I'm switching mine off now, and then on this side, marker off. So both markers are off. Usually mine goes away just by doing that one, but if you want to do both. Thank you. Awesome.
Ordinal casement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10.
Right, I've just noticed on the charts we're not going to use the teardrop approach, so we're skipping both of those, and we'll just make a direct to.
Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH 1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine. Ordinal casement information line. 700
go around. Alright, awesome. Looks like everything is fine.
700 scattered, 16,000 broken, temperature 5, dew point 4, area QNH1032, arriving runway 29, departing runway 29, advise on initial contact you have mine. Baldinal casement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 750.
Hello Tony, good morning, how are you doing?
700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine.
Ah, goodness. Well, hang in there, buddy. I suppose it won't be long and then you can go rest. So just hang in there best you can.
Baldinal casement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29.
Christian,
Runway 29.
I get it from the virtual airline that I fly for. I can show you quickly. So from their control panel, once I've booked the flight, it actually tells me the cruise level that Ryanair flies at. So that's the cruise level, that's the actual route that I use. And then I obviously just pick up on the rest of the information there.
Sky conditions 750 view. 2,700.
DEXEN, good morning, good morning.
Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine. Baldinal casement information mine. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10.
Yeah, if you put SimRiff on auto, it will give you an automatic
2,700 scattered.
flight altitude. But if you fly for a VA and they give you a suggestion, and that's always a good plan to just stick to it. Sorry guys, I'm pulling you in now. Sorry guys, I didn't notice you were sitting there. You're welcome to Discord.
Good morning everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning,
I'm Danny. What I do is I look at the actual wind, and if you go to the top here on your IRS display, you can set it to wind. This is the actual wind that the aircraft is experiencing right now. So there might be a knot or two difference or a degree or two difference between where you are at and where the runway is. But this is more accurate than taking it from the METAR. So this is the closest you're going to get wind enacting on the aircraft as it stands there. So I just use that.
Baldinal casement information line. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than
Yeah, I'm not going to do a cutback because we want to get at cruise altitude very fast, so we're going to skip that.
Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway.
Alright, we've got 10 minutes left to burn, so we might as well do a couple of tests again and then continue our setup.
Flight slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up.
Baldinal casement
Obstacle.
information line.
Obstacle.
Alright, I'm literally just picking a number for the transponder out of thin air. This is not based on any rule book. Because we're flying IFR, I expect the ATC will give me something when they need to.
Climb now. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Crossing. Climb. Climb. Crossing. Climb. 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 Clear of conflict. Descend. 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 Crossing. Descend. Descend. Crossing. Descend. Descend. Descend now. Descend. Descend now. Increase climb. Increase climb. Increase descent. Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain. Maintain vertical speed. Crossing. Maintain. Monitor vertical speed. TCAS test. Pass.
16,000 broken. Temperature 5. 2.4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29.
Yeah, we have to, Tony. And this is an IVEO flight. Have you seen the new IVEO client? You must give that a try. Eh? I mean, it's really fancy with the pre-filing on the web and then picking it up this side. So actually see that it's picked up my flight plan now. Let's have a look. See. Yep, it's got me. It's got the flight plan. There's the new desktop side of things. Yeah, there, look, this is the new desktop client, but you have to file the flight plan via the web now. You can't do it locally. And I don't know, it updated all my CSLs. I'm not sure if it's better or not, but it said all mine was old, so it updated everything for me.
Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine.
Okay. I've just realized because I could not enable, and this is just the old test I always tell you guys about, I'm unable to activate LNAV. Doesn't matter what I do. Look, my FD is on, everything is right. I can't enable it, and there's definitely a SID here in action. And then I went back and I checked. I forgot to activate runway 28 as the active runway, so that should solve it for us. There we go. See how easy it is to make a mistake. You just forget to activate one small little thing. And again, I'll discuss this later in the tutorial flight as well. But if those two things don't light up already on the ground, then there's a good chance you made a mistake in your FMC or you forgot your flight director on the FO side. Now, obviously there are different ways to taking off. You don't have to use VNAV and LNAV. You can actually just disable both, or you can use LNAV only and then switch to level change and bug up your speed and all. It's just much easier to teach somebody how to do those two things and just write it out.
Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine.
I've never checked, to be quite honest. This is the second time I'm testing it. Toggle the message window. There you go. There's a message window at least, Tony, so you can see messages if you need to. Let's put it on this side for your benefit. Let's see if that's going to... Yeah, that is the messages. So at least you can have the message window inside of your sim, but you're not going to be able to type or anything from there. If you want to send a message, this is the type bar, so you would say ready for push and start, and I have no idea what stand I'm on. Let's have a look. See, airport and parking stands. Why are you going there? Go away. That's what I want. I want this one, then EIDW stands. So by estimation, I am at something called 110L. I don't know. 110L. So we'll send that off later on when we are actually ready. Yeah, the only thing they need to sort out now is just the same kind of audio. If they can bring in the same kind of audio and drop the TeamSpeak that they're using, it will be awesome. But speaking of that, I'm not even sure if my TeamSpeak started up. Usually TeamSpeak comes up. Let's have a look. See.
750 few, 2,700 scattered.
Oh yeah,
16,000
TeamSpeak is
broken.
running.
Temperature 5,
Right.
2.4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29.
As always, Tony, as always, all that I usually do. Now I'm gonna lose this. See if we can copy it. .wx EIDW. That's the easiest way of getting. And this is supposed to work on VATSIM as well. In fact, METAR should also work.
Visibility more than 10.
There you go. Those are the text commands that are basically universal, so that's the easiest way of getting it. If I want my other information, I will just do this.
Echo, India, Delta, Whiskey, Airport information, Golf, 0800, Zulu, weather, wind, 253, at 8, visibility, 10,000, sky condition, few clouds at 800, 2,400, scattered, ceiling, 16,000, broken, temperature, 6, 2.4, QNH, 1032, advise on initial contact, you have information, Golf.
1032. Tony, if
Echo, India, Delta,
I
Whiskey,
get an
Airport
air traffic
information,
controller
Golf,
along the way, I'll see if I can
0800,
get
Zulu,
voice
weather,
actors.
wind,
I'm not sure.
253, at 8, visibility, 10,000, sky condition, few clouds at.
I am definitely not sure. Alright, okay, let me know. Right, we're at 17, so I can actually start the APU.
Nico, ignore my ignorance.
Philip, sorry, my attention was not with you. I heard something, I did not pay attention to what you said. Say again.
No, it's okay. I was asking if take my how do I jump to an airport here on Ryanair's website?
Jump seat. You have to use the jump seat function. In your flight planning page, there's a little red button called jump seat.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Baldinal casement information mine. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 750 few. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. 2.4. Area QNH 1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact UFI.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until here and items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
16,000 broken. Temperature 5. 2.4. Area QNH 1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact UFI.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Flight attendants, what time of departure? Cross check and all call, thank you.
Here comes the pushback. Light 'em up.
Okay, Uncle John. 8.
16,000 broken.
That is something else. Once we're in there, I'm gonna change this frequency because this 8 is that this other airport is producing for us now is really irritating.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Echo, India, Delta, Whiskey, airport information, India.
That's
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine.
and we're ready to go.
Baldinal placement information mine. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4.
I don't really know what to do with this thing. It's in my eyes the whole time. It's kind of irritating.
Departing runway 29.
Anyway, I'll leave it that side.
Contact you have mine.
Do the control tests. And let's go.
Baldinal placement information mine. 700 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility
Fly safely, Captain.
Thank you, you too, Captain.
750 view. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. Dew point 4. Area QNH1032. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have mine.
I've had enough of that nonsense.
So who is Ryan A5JP?
It's me. Why? Welcome.
Yeah, I've run it. And I take it 636N. Who's that?
I have no idea. What's your call sign?
I know, I don't have. I'm not. I'm looking at the map.
Oh.
I have no. I'm still trying to figure out where's Chomsky.
Yeah, it's nice. Christer, I went back to X-Vision with Active Sky Performance Clouds. So I got rid of SkyMax Pro for now again. It was nice using it the whole of December, but I thought yesterday it's time for a change. So I'm back to normal. If I had an extra pair of hands, I wouldn't be taxiing like this, because I continuously need to get that mouse. That's interesting. Well, yesterday there was rain, if that's a consolation prize. But by the time I got here, also there was no more rain, so seemed to have gone by pretty fast. Just want to walk a little bit closer. I'll see if we can get closer.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Alright, let's quickly do this runway entry procedure. We don't need you, we don't need you. Everything else looks fine. Transponder on. Make sure IVO sees that as well. Correct. 100% fine. We can get rid of you and we can actually put you back in place. Come on. Hold still. Right, what did we not do? Yes, Paul.
I was just going to ask what... Oh, you're turning the lights up. I was trying to work out what you were reaching for through the seat.
Yeah, I was watching Jorge the other day, and all he does is he turns around and he just, turns the knob. But for some reason, when I did it just now, it just wasn't focusing properly. You see, I move it, but then it changes the zoom, so that's why I just went to the back. Right, let us quickly get this message out here. I need to do this one.
Information my 800 Zulu weather. Wind 250 visibility more than
Traffic.
sky condition 750. 2,700 scattered. 16,000 broken. Temperature 5. 2.4. Area QNH 10.
This is interesting. This thing doesn't update with my text. Maybe it's because it's mine. Right, well, let's see. Maybe we get something from someone else. Okay. I will grant you your permissions just now once I'm in the EIDW, and then you can join us on Discord. Give me 1 second.
approaching 3, 4 approaching runways.
It is the latest version, but that's got nothing to do with it. You need to set the landing lights in your Zibo tablet. If you set it to LED, you only have 2 switches. If you set it to halogen, you get 4 switches.
Advise on initial contact you have line.
And there the young lady served my bacon. Wonderful. While the flaps are setting, let's quickly have a look at that.
Ordinal casement information mine. 800 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 700.
I'll kill that voice just now as well.
700 scattered. 16,000 broken.
No point in that thing driving us crazy. Toga. Right, I've given you your access rights. You should be able to come to the room right next to where we are sitting, and then I can pull you in if you want to come onto air with us. Live on air.
80 knots. D1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
$400. $1,000.
That looks spectacular. Wow. Look at that.
Oh, that does look good.
Wow. Yeah. Pity I can't, you know, do enter my own screenshot competition. Dear Weer, it will be where we are sitting. It's locked. You can't come into our room. Come to the Skymatics FBO, and then I will pull you into live on air. I don't allow anybody to just waltz in here. You need to have my blessing before you come in here. So just come to the FBO. There you go. Good morning. And now you just need to put push to talk on, please. Then you are set to chat with us. That looks magical, man.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Thank you.
That really looks good, man. Please be warned that there's about a 8-second, sometimes 10-second delay between the stream and Discord, so you might just want to turn off your stream sounds, unfortunately. Well, Uncle John, I'm not sure if you can see this, but the clouds look much better now, eh? Right, so passing 10,000, we can get rid of a couple of things here and let the packs loose. There we go. And we've got somebody inbound there next to us. We won't see them except for on DCAS. I am using X Vision with a vivid preset to get the ambience correct, and then I use Active Sky with the Active Sky Performance Clouds to give the weather and the clouds into the sim.
Just about to roll, Nico.
Alright, have a look at my screen, check my clouds, if you can.
Yeah, I've been looking at them, about time.
Okay. Right, guys, I'm just going to mute my mic so I can just quickly finish my breakfast. I will be back in about 3 minutes or so. You're welcome to keep on chatting amongst each other or leave me a message. I'll get back to you just now. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still watching, still seeing everything, but I don't want you to listen to me while I'm having breakfast. So we'll talk just now.
Well, I've got a general question or comment to make to everybody. Let's hear what buttons or switches you don't use in your cockpit, because I've got several that I'm interested about, but because I just fly the easy way, I don't use them. So what about the approach setting on the knob that does plan and VOR, etc.? What about that one? Because this amazing Zibo fellow has got all these buttons working and all sorts of voltages and pressures and whatnot working in the background, and I think a lot of people don't use the plane to its capabilities, perhaps. What do you think?
Even I agree there. I think a lot of guys fly it the easy way, and even myself, I mean, unless I have to pull, to be quite honest, I use the plan screen and I use the map screen. I don't go specifically to the ILS one or any other one. And another one which is actually freaking cool is when you press the CTR button there, the rows. When I do circuits, I like to fly like this, especially the hand flown circuits, because that gives me my point of reference and I can actually switch on the airports and I can see where I'm at and where I'm going to. Alright, but one that is useful that not many people use is the vertical speed indicator over there, especially when you fly in mountainous areas. This is very valuable because if you've got your terrain radar, which you can probably switch on quickly, you know, it just changes the way your perception works. But other than that, I mean, that's the plan view that I use to make sure my plan is correct. That's the normal map view, which I've obviously changed. But to go to the VOR, all these other ILS screens, I don't use them, to be quite honest. I've no need for them.
No, absolutely. I do like the centre views because you can see behind yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It makes a world's difference. And I mean, if you're looking at the vertical speed indication there, or your glide path or your vertical ascent path, it's nice to see it. But also, how many guys know how to read it or to use it usefully? You know, so that's another question. You know, I stick to basics as far as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been playing a little bit with the VOR setting on that knob. It's almost ridiculous that you would be trying to fly VOR to VOR in an airplane like this, because it's technology from what, 40, 50 years ago, maybe more.
Correct. It's literally there for backup. It's got no other function. If you want to use your raw data navigation in a Boeing, there's got to be something seriously wrong with your computers to do that. Or you're being trained or evaluated on it. That's the only reason you would use it. But nobody's going to decide this morning, oh, I'm flying from Helsinki to El Salvador. Let's do it VOR to VOR. I mean, you're not going to do it because there's no VORs that's going to help you over the ocean anyway, you know, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what failures would have to happen for you to have to resort to looking at the VOR navigation system.
Well, basically,
but it's interesting that it's there, and it's there and it works, which is fabulous. You know, it's there for us if we want.
Yeah, even the ADF was working like you and I tested the other day. I mean, it's just awesome. One of those things. I don't know, but yeah, look, if you go read the forum and you go check the guys and you speak to the real world guys who obviously know these things, you'll be surprised what some people actually want to try do with this model. You know, whether it's useful or not is another debate. I only do the things that are really useful to me. I don't like wasting time with anything in life. You know, so I do things that are useful. Yeah, Christer, I agree. It's about the knowledge depth. You know, a lot of guys know tricks, and you can get X, Y, Z far with a trick. But if you don't have depth in your knowledge, you're never going to reach the end of the alphabet. You know, it's just not going to work. So, it's just something that's, you know, becoming redundant slowly but surely. One of these days, you won't have VORs anymore or NDBs.
Yes, I had an interesting time a couple of days ago when I didn't put any flight plan in the FMC and just took off from the south of England and tried to get to Manchester in the north by joining NDBs together. That was really quite a learning process. Because you think you've tuned your ADF radio in properly, but you were getting false signals, it was pointing in the wrong direction, so I had to use dead reckoning really to get within range of the next NDB before the radio would pick it up properly and identify it. It's very interesting, and of course, because the plane isn't navigating itself particularly, the wind has an effect and it blows you off course as well. So that was all really interesting.
I have a question. When you start up your engine on the console, you have number 1 and 2 to give it some fuel. I'm using the SideTech throttle quadrant and I want to use buttons on there to turn them on. Do you know what they are called?
I wouldn't know about that, but if it's available, I mean, I'm sure you're looking in the Explain, the part of Explain where you can assign buttons to different tasks, but I wouldn't know what they're actually called. Or maybe whether it's available, I don't know.
They are available. The first place that you can look is just in Explain. Go to keyboard commands and you go to B73. So that gives you laminar B738. So it should be in here. Engine, there we go. Engine mixture, idle, engine mixture cut off. So you're gonna have to play with these settings under engine to get the correct desired performance from your hardware.
Do you use a throttle quadrant?
I do. I've got the SciTech one. I just don't use the actual levers on there. What I did is I've got my toga button on my T1 button, and I've got the what's it, T5 and 6. That's my gear and my parking brake. I did not configure these levers on the throttle quadrant at all. Oh, Krista, I just mentioned that the other ones are all on my yoke. I control the disengage bar over there. So when I'm on short finals, I can actually disengage the autopilot and silence the alarm, because if you use trim, you can use trim very successfully as well. The moment you change your trim, the autopilot will disconnect, but then you've got to reach up and you've actually got to press the button to silence the horn. So if you map that one, it will disengage autopilot and it will silence the horn if you press it the second time. Then also I've got Command A. I've got mapped on the yoke. Then I've got obviously the electric trim is mapped, and then I've got the flaps. That's about it.
What yoke do you have?
SciTech. I'm waiting for my honeycomb to arrive.
My honeycomb has arrived. Is brilliant, the best, and I'm waiting for the honeycomb quadrant, throttle quadrant.
Yeah, that must be a nice to have. Christer, I've just realized, and sorry, Mr. De Weer as well. I've also got my lights. This one, the position and strobe. as well as my wing. I've also got that on T3 and T4 on my throttle quadrant, because as I'm taxiing and preparing for the runway entry procedure, I would then lift my strobes and I will let the captain tell the people that we're ready for takeoff, you know, to take their seats and whatever, and that runs off that little switch over there. So I almost forgot about that, but that's also on the throttle quadrant.
You need to buy side-deck panels.
No, too much hassle, and in South Africa it's just too expensive. It's not worth it, not for us. Okay, let's quickly look at our descent planning and stuff. By the way, guys, I've just noticed, for those of you that do use the Navigraph updater, there seems to be an issue on my side with a couple of the add-ons. So I'm just going to re-update some of them when I'm done with this flight. So you might just want to check that you've got the latest versions and that it actually installed them correctly. Alright, so I just want to quickly make sure we've got the correct course heading according to the chart 256, and according to the FMC it's 256 as well. Man, that thing is very fast. 256. Right, 11050. 11050. Chart on here. Alright, so we've got 11050 and 256 that is set up already. Our decision height is going to be this one. We're going to use 231 for a Cat 1 ILS. According to the weather, it's not that bad over there, so we don't have any need for a better than a Cat 1 ILS. Our runway visual minimums that's required is 550 meters, so we should be okay. Our intercept heading for the ILS is 1500, so in case you were wondering, that's why I said 1500. Barometer is set to 231 over there for our minimums. Alright, let's quickly have a look. We are getting to Resla 4.4 versus 3.8. That's a 600 kilogram difference, so we can select 64.1 if we deduct the 600 off there, and we can enter 30-degree flaps for 147 on BREV, and then we can set our forecast. Our transition altitude is set by ATC, but as there are no ATCs available that I know of, we're just going to use the transition altitude of 6,000 over there. Flight level 060. And for those of you that don't know why we do this step specifically, what that does for us is it will change the standard from green to yellow, prompting you when you go through that altitude to simply press your standard button to get to the local QNH. And while we're talking about that, let's grab our weather.
Echo Golf Hotel Airport information Lima 0820 Zulu weather wind 241 at 6 visibility 10,000 sky condition few clouds at 3000 ceiling, 3400 broken, temperature 6, dew point 4, QNH 1035. Advise on initial contact you have information. Lima. Echo, Gulf, Hotel, airport info.
1035. Right, 1035. So that's been put in standby for us, and we can then just press the button when we get to that point. Right, so let's get the rest of this going. Alright, I'm going to be lazy today. I'm not going to worry about the winds. We'll worry about that when we do training. Unless, of course, one of you fine gentlemen would like me to do it.
You're okay. Where do you get your ISA from?
If you look at my private hangar link below the video and you go into my OneDrive, you go to this Explain 11 then Zibo folder, and in there one of those folders contains the calculators for the runway slope as well as the ISA, so I can quickly show you. This is what it looks like. So basically you put your airport elevation, current temperature, that's actually changed. That is now 7 degrees. Alright, so there it gives ISA of -8 now. We can adapt that. -8. But in essence, that's the calculator, so that's all you need. Come on. And this is the one for the runway slope, so it will tell you up or down and what the percentage would be. Right, let's look at this runway length while we are still sitting and waiting. Alright, so we can do auto brake to 7,451 feet. Thanks, Vasily. And Krista, that's a pleasure as always. And sorry to hear you need to go, but enjoy whatever you do, and then we'll talk later. Remember, the next stream will be 1600 Zulu. Hello, Mike. Oh, goodness. They've actually told us we're going to have a similar experience here in Johannesburg in the next week. They're forecasting a lot of rain again, so not looking forward to that. But anyway, we need the rain. Well, it's nice to have you on stream anyway, and I hope you enjoy it with us. We're almost ready for the descent now. Right there, our engines are spooling down to help slow down for our top of descent.
Sorry, Nico, when you have a minute, can you show me again for these fuel switches, please, where you go, because I can't find a B73.
Okay, hold on. Okay, can you please repeat that for me quickly?
Yeah, the question I had regarding my fuel switches, you know, the fuel flow for the engines.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
You told me to go into keyboard.
Yeah, and then you search B738, which will take you to the laminar one, and then you scroll down to the engines.
Folks from the flight deck, we've started our descent. Should have you on the ground in about 15 minutes. Want to thank you so much for your company and business, and hope to see you again with us sometime very soon.
I must say, I really appreciate my clouds again. Wow. Alright, I just had a look inside of the Zibo folder in your explain. There is a file called data refs, B738 underscore data refs. I beg your pardon. Trying to get my display capturing. There we go. Alright, so if you open that file, it looks like this. Every single data ref is listed here. You must just now find the right one. So mixture, there you go. So that's how you're gonna have to find them. You're gonna have to go and search for, looks like mixture ratio 1 and mixture ratio 2. I'm not sure if this is going to be like an axis though, by the way. Just have a look. Start selectors, fuel flow position. You're gonna have to experiment with these guys.
Yeah, because when I go into the explain keyboard and then I search for B73, it doesn't come up with laminar at all.
Okay, but is your Zibo actually active? You have to be in the Zibo to see them. If the Zibo is not running, you won't see the data refs pertaining to the Zibo.
No, it's not running. I'm into settings.
Yeah, no, you're going to have to start your flight, go sit at the apron somewhere. As long as Zibo is active, it will bring up the Zibo data refs. If Zibo, the mod is not running, you won't see the data refs.
Okay, alright, thanks.
Ah, Christian, sorry man, sorry. You want me to bring that back up again? Just go to your Zibo folder. Your aircraft, I've got my Zibo folder separate, so then I go find B738 data revs over there. And obviously it's just a text file, so that's where Zibo's put everything. This is specifically for the cockpit builder, so it should work the same for us with our little throttle quadrants and stuff. And all you need to go is literally just find the appropriate stuff. So there it talks about engines, APU, starter. No, the aircraft. Okay, then explain. Explain. Sorry, you lost me. What do you mean I'm too fast with the plane? You mean in terms of speed? That's irrelevant. Above 10,000, it's totally irrelevant. Once we go below 10,000, then we have to slow down. General rule of thumb also is you don't use your speed brake above 10,000. In the odd case where the aircraft runs away with you or the flight plan requires a very steep descent path, then obviously you're going to use it. Hello, Dimitri. Exactly, yeah, that's a good way of doing it. Anyway, so coming back to this story about the speed brake as well. At 10,000, just above it or after, you know, descending past that, that's when we start using them. The big thing that you need to look out for is just VNE. Once you hit that little red side there, you can go maybe one little dot over, but if you go too far, you're going to rip something off. The VNE is your never exceed speed, and that's the reason why they call it that way. Your structural strength and stability goes tada bye-bye when you hit that one. And good morning, Joseph. Nice to have you here. Look at that speed. Look how nicely the code brings it back in check.
Yes, I remember one of the real pilots saying that when you do go slightly quicker than you are strictly meant to be going, did he call it parasitic drag?
Yeah.
That meant that it was, if you're going slightly too fast, then the drag will increase to bring you back.
Yeah. Also, the VNAV code is written in such a way in the Zibo as well as in the real aircraft. It will lift the nose when it needs to slow down, and that's obviously going to increase more drag. So you just got to fly it the way it's supposed to be flown, really.
Just starting descent.
Great stuff, Uncle John. I see it's got me holding at 11. My next crossing point is Southampton's VOR at 9,000, so it's obviously holding on to me there for a little while. There's the Southampton VOR, and then you can see it's worked out the secondary top of descent for us. So it's just holding
Notice
on.
my transmission isn't coming up on your screen anymore.
What transmission? When you speak?
Yeah, normally it comes up on... Ah, there you go.
Kevin, the restrictions are not supposed to give a problem because if you checked your legs page and made sure that it complies, then you're flying legally. It's when you bust them that you're flying illegally. So it happens sometimes, but normally, and I mean, you can test it. This is a prime example, or you can fly from New York to Boston. This aircraft handles restrictions beautifully, eh? Oh, Dimitri, hold on. Yeah, while we're at it, I might as well quickly show you control sensitivities. That is my control sensitivities. Stability augmentation breaks the Zibo code. That's why it's always on 0. That messes the Zibo code tremendously. The control response, this is your personal joystick settings, and this you can set wherever you feel comfortable. I like it at 100% because it feels like the aircraft has got weight. I mean, if it's all on 0, it's like flying a pit special with a Boeing. It's just not for me. Vasily, you're welcome to send it. I probably have something like that lying around here somewhere. The issue for me is not to also confuse, the people too much, but you're welcome to send it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Kevin, the only thing I can suggest is before you start your flight, physically while you're programming this FMC, make sure in your legs page, after you've set up everything and you're done with your VREFs, go back to legs like that, and at that time you can see the actual altitudes. Go and match them with your charts. It is also possible, McTrying actually showed me the other day I used an incorrect chart. I used a class B chart when this aircraft is, or at that time in the flight it was a class C. And when you do things like that, there's a different way that the Learjet will descend and a Boeing will descend because of size differences. So you need to make sure you've got the correct chart. You need to make sure that you actually match these restrictions and things to your charts. Then you shouldn't have it. The issue is most flight simmers, me included, we don't really always have time for that, or we don't think about doing that, or we don't care about doing that, and then that's usually when it goes wrong. But if you fly this according to the book, you won't have a problem. You shouldn't have. Okay, thank you, Vasily.
Yes, I know what Kevin means, because in the past I've trusted the flight plan that SimBrief has given me that I've imported.
Yeah, and you think it's correct. Yeah.
You think it's correct, yes.
Yeah, it happens. The other thing, guys, which is very important, we'll talk about this afternoon as well. In the Zibo, the throttle noise lock needs to be set as high as required. You need to make sure that when you look at your throttle, that it's stationary or as stationary as possible. If you get an effect where okay, it's not going to listen to me because of the next setting, but if those throttles are actually bouncing around and your pods in your controller is sending rubbish data and the Zibo picks up on that, that could also be another reason. One of the things is now this next setting. One of the things to bypass nonsense like that, on top of using throttle noise lock, is this auto throttle engage lock throttle setting. That needs to be on unless you are going to practice rejected takeoffs. This needs to be on. You cannot practice rejected takeoff with this on. It won't work. But this is my normal state of operation, and this is what you get. Oh, I just want to see the mode. Okay, you see when it says armed over there, on the primary flight display, when it's in armed mode, what happens is you now have control. If I move the throttle, you see the engines respond to me. Alright, so obviously we're in a descent, so we don't want to speed up, we need to pull back. But you need to know how to read this situation here. If it says armed, you are in control. You have power to control the throttles. If it goes into the FMC mode, alright, what happens is with this setting, auto throttle engage lock throttle, you can move these levers as much as you want. This aircraft simply will not listen to you. And what we have found, especially me doing the support now, is the guys have got old and used and worn systems sometimes, alright? And then what happens is when they fly, they forget to pull the throttle lever, the hardware throttle lever, back to idle at the point of descent. And then what happens is the Zibo code kicks in. It wants to reduce the throttle to idle so that the actual descent can take place. And if you guys recall correctly, about 20 nautical miles before we started our descent, the Zibo code actually did go to idle to make the aircraft slow down in lieu of the top of descent. And what happens is if you don't have this setting, auto throttle engage lock throttle on, and your throttle is somewhere there in the front, alright, you see now the FMC is taken over again. What happens is the Zibo code sees your throttle, it lets your throttle in your position override the code, and that's when you also get over speeds in the dive. And then the guys complain, oh, VNAV code's not working, which is nonsense. It's just a question of hardware is interfering with the actual code, and that's why that setting exists and why it's on. Because now you see FMC speed, look at this, I'll zoom in for you. Those little blue triangles, that's my hardware throttle position. Look, I can move it now any which way I want. The VNAV code in the Zibo simply does not listen to me. It has no inclination to even listen to me. It's turned a deaf ear to me. So that's the way to handle the Zibo properly and to set up the hardware properly to prevent sudden dives. Now in this instance, obviously I fiddled and we are below 10,000 feet, so the best thing to do is now to prevent the aircraft from running away with the speed, and that's to extend your speed brakes. So again, as pilot in command, you've also got to learn when you have to do what you have to do, kind of a thing. Hello Albapino, and hello Martin, and hello Ryan. Yeah, Martin, you just got to set it up properly. These two settings here, sorry, it's just frozen for a second. Throttle noise lock and auto throttle engage lock throttle, they're very, very important. Alright, there you can see we've gone through the transition altitude. It's gone yellow on us, and all we do is we press the standard button.
The very simple answer is follow the installation.
Yeah. See, now we are diving. This is typically what the guys could also be referring to. It is diving. It's gone past 250 knots in the descent there. If you guys recall correctly, I'll actually show it to you as well. When we did the planning, we noticed that there is no connection between the VOR and our ILS intercept point, and this is not Zibo code issue. This is just the pilot now. If I had paid attention and I wasn't talking that much, I could have extended my line a little bit, prevented the sudden nosedive, and then turned back. There's different ways of handling it, but because we trusted the code now to do the descent from that VOR to there, obviously there's a mathematical equation that's running, and it's saying, oh goodness, I need to get there now, so it's going to dip the nose, and obviously by dipping the nose it's going to increase the speed. You see, now this is pilot error. This has got nothing to do with Zibo code. That gap that's staring us in the eyes there, obviously we were supposed to be in control, and it was up to us to keep the nose and the speed in the correct position. So in hindsight, it would have been better to just extend the line a little bit, slow down more, and then turned in. But heck, you know, such is life. Now we live and learn together. Right, I'm gonna enable my approach. And the next thing, guys, if you want to slow down fast, put out your gear. Do not use your flaps to slow down. That was a flight sim shortcut that some other programmers built into their Boeing. It doesn't work in real world that nicely. The best way to slow down the Boeing is to put out the gear. And once you are within the normal parameters, you can obviously start using your flaps. And there's the runway in front of us already. You see, Kevin, then we're talking the same language. I'm glad it happened, because now we can relate, you know, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to say to you.
Feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Excellent, excellent.
Approaching 26.
Wow, this was a very late final config, but anyway. Alright, I just need to make sure that my speed brakes are stowed, eh? Not like yesterday.
Approaching minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
I think I bounced. I think I bounced.
4,000 remaining. 3,000 remaining.
Okay, that wasn't me. That was me. Sorry, guys. Let's do a go around.
Touch and go, eh? Excellent.
Just make sure you're clear of that runway before I get in.
Yeah, I'm done. Got it, Fractor. Yeah, let's go for it. Toga now. Are we going Toga? We'll be climbing to, I think, 4,000. I'm not even sure. Let's have a look. See. Let's get stable before we do all these funny things. 3,000 was the altitude. Go there. We're going to go level change. Altitude. Alright, let level change do that for us. It's okay. It's okay. I can handle this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go. We've gone past flaps 15. Let's go to flaps 5. Increase our speed a little bit there to 180, and then we can just go for the LNAV, and we'll do the go around procedure.
I do like it when things go slightly wrong, and not for the reason that people might think.
Yeah.
When your streams go beautifully smoothly, it's not a lot of people's experience who bugger things up and get it wrong.
Yeah.
So it's only when you teach us what to do when things go wrong that we actually see it.
Yes, yes,
if you know what I mean.
I know exactly. So thank you for that. It makes perfect sense to me too. Bob, yes. Well, this is now the second time I'm showing a go around. I did one at Madrid the other day. So anyway, all I did was I started pulling up, lifted my gears. I actually pressed the flaps one notch too far. I was supposed to go to flaps 15. When I looked up, I saw I was already at flaps 10. So that's a small little mistake, not life-threatening, but it is. And basically then what I did was I got control over the aircraft, because I'm now trying to find the chart. I'm doing 10 things at one time, because I obviously never set my go around altitude like a good flight simmer does, you know. And so I had to get that in place, and then what I did was I enabled LNAV and level change and then command A, and then I just bugged up my speed up to 180. So the aircraft literally is now flying for us. I'm going to be trying the second attempt on landing, Joshua, just now. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm in fact going to quickly grab hold of the heading select bug, and I'm actually going to use heading select now, because obviously the go around now includes a whole hold procedure. So we're going to break free from that, and we're going to basically vector ourselves back into position for the approach and the landing again.
Now we're learning.
Yeah. Thank you for that. By the way, your chiropractor will not see you. Who said that? Dimitri. I actually checked. My landing rate was 108 foot per minute. So, that sounded... Oh, no. I had to scroll back a little bit more. Let me show you guys. This is embarrassing, but I'm going to show you. So what it says to me is my touchdown was at 298 foot. Alright, so that's why it bounced. The aircraft then bounced, and it then touched down again at 108 foot per minute. Alright, so we'll blame it on the black cat that ran across the runway. You guys just didn't see it, but that's what happened. And we obviously had to, you know, do what we have to do. I mean, I just taught you that 5 minutes ago. As pilot in command, you have to do what you have to do. So there you go. That's what caused the go around, and here we are. Everybody's now, you know, sighing of relief and saying thank you very much. We actually even did not climb to 3,000. I've just noticed that, so we can actually climb back up to 3,000 now.
Could we have a quick look at the FMC, please?
Yeah. What do you want to see?
1,000 to go.
Because the go around's programmed into that, presumably.
Yes. But what happened, remember, is now I've taken over. So the go around obviously would have taken us into that hold, and we would have been there until ATC then instructed us to actually leave the hold and then do exactly what we're doing now. So we're just vectoring ourselves.
Okay, thanks.
Alright, so a couple of things to take note of. Obviously, we're not using the go around procedure as usual, and I'm not sure. I presume it's because we stopped it halfway, you know. I mean, it didn't climb to 3,000. So as a pilot in command, you obviously have to make sure that you comply. So level change was supposed to take us to 1,000, to 3,000, but I think what happened was I had 1,500 dialed in. It thought it reached it because it did, and then I changed the 3,000 without hitting level change again. So I had to use the vertical speed to then climb up. I presume I could have just used level change. That would have fixed it for us. Anyway, it would have started to just climb. So a couple of little things that happen very fast, and you've got to think on your feet, eh?
Yeah, that's when things get a bit too much for me sometimes.
Yes, Dimitri, I'm back on X-Vision with my super duper active sky performance clouds. Uncle John loves me for it. He hated those other clouds, so I said, okay, fine. Let's go back to normality. Alright, okay. Now the funny thing is our interception altitude for the ILS is actually 1,500. So now we're going to have to descend again. I'm going to use level change this time, do it more professionally. Oops, Joshua, I just saw you burst your tire. That's another good thing, guys, to just remember. I'm not sure where exactly it's now in the settings. Realism. Oh yes, there we go. Tire blown advanced. Switch it off. It's not very realistic. I've had it a couple of times. I would land too softly and it will tell me that my tire blew, and then you can't taxi, you know. So for me and my advice is just turn off that setting.
So just to get this clear in my head again, with level change selected, you will never go quicker than the speed that you've got in the speed window.
Yeah, level change is tied to your MCP speed. If you want to use VNAV, oh, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. That is much appreciated. Martin, dankie. Okay, so altitude intervention. If you hit that button, that will use VNAV. Alright, but if you use level change, it will be tied to your speed on the MCP. Right, so there we are back. I'm actually going to start this turnaround now.
I suppose this could be a case where you press the center button so you can see behind you to some extent.
Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you for reminding me. I wasn't even thinking about that now. Yeah, so you get a better understanding of where you're at and going to from.
Well, you've got the awareness that it's behind you to the left, haven't you? So
yes,
you know where it is even without looking.
correct. But it was just because, you know, it's fresh in my mind. You know, 5 minutes later I might not recall. Actually gonna make that turn slightly wider and then just make the angle a little bit better. That's a rough angle, that one. Let me fix that. Hold on. Okay, it's fixed. Yeah, it's done. One day I'll figure out why Streamlabs OBS does that. I've spoken to other streamers and they say they don't have it, so I don't know why I'm so special. But every time that obviously changed when I went to the menus to show you guys the menu settings there. When you leave your X-Plane, the game itself in Streamlabs, it does that reshaping, scaling, which is silly. Come now. And thank you, Dimitri. Much appreciated.
Yes, well said, Dimitri.
No. V-lock is not necessary. I've already engaged the approach button. It's good enough. Alright, let's check everything. 3 green on the gear, flaps 30, auto brake is 2. Right, speed brake is on. Oh, yeah, nice one. Lights, camera in action, right. Let's see if we can do it this time, guys. Oh, now it's on the radio. I want it on the radio. There we go. Alright, excellent, excellent.
It'll be Uncle John will be on the runway now.
I've got no crash detection on, so sorry for him if he's got I'm landing.
Fly through him, yeah.
Sorry, Uncle John, I love you, but you know what? It's time to land. So he's concentrating.
I've already landed.
Oh, alright, you beat me this time.
And asked me what my landing was like.
Probably perfect.
And how the hell did you know that?
I just know. I just know.
Feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Approaching 26.
Minimum.
Okay, let's try again. Holding thumbs.
Minimums.
Sorry, I bumped the tiller as I was reaching for my reversers. Yo, okay, we made it. Thank you. Welcome to Bournemouth.
I lied.
What? What, did you have a horrible landing?
Confess, John, confess.
No, it wasn't perfect. It was a good landing, not perfect.
All right, that's good enough, Uncle John.
On the question of whether to use the VOR lock button on approach,
Yeah.
does it pull you to the radial that you've selected, or does it take you direct to the VOR?
Well, you were supposed to set the MCP course onto your ILS course. So when you use VOR lock, it's supposed to turn you to the localizer, and the localizer will have that course. If you don't set it, I've never tried it. I don't know what it's going to do. It's probably not going to be the same, but who knows? I mean, the MCP course value for the ILS is more for a nice to have. It's not going to not turn you onto the localizer. So I suppose it would depend on whether you've got an ILS tuned in your MMR or whether you've got a VOR tuned. If you've got a VOR tuned, it's going to turn to the radial. If it's got a ILS tuned, it's going to turn to the actual localizer. You know, so
I might have to try that to get it into my head properly. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No worries. All right. So thank you, Ryan. All right. With all this talking, let me get my mind back in the game again. Something happened. I'm not sure what happened. Contact Bournemouth ground 1217. Let's see. Let's see if this thing actually works. See if we can do that. Oh yes, it did. It did. Bournemouth ground. Good afternoon. Ryanair 5 Juliet Papa with you, requesting taxi to the stand.
Ryanair 5 Juliet Papa, very good morning. Welcome to Bournemouth. Taxi stand 5 via Alpha and Bravo.
5 via Alpha and Bravo, Ryanair 5 Juliet Papa. Thank you, sir. I forgot it's still morning there. Oh, this was fun.
Yes, another enjoyable one. Thank you,
Out of
sir.
interest, what was the go around?
The go-around was actually quite a bit of a surprise for me, sir. What happened was the reverse thrusters did not engage. So instead of stopping and slowing down, the aircraft actually accelerated, leaving me no room on the runway to stop. So I had to do the go-around. I'm busy streaming live on YouTube, so that made for quite some fun.
Can I have the link so I can watch the go around, please?
Yeah, I'll give it to you just now. I've sent you a text message there in TeamSpeak. I've sent you a text message in TeamSpeak. I need to find stand 5. I'm enjoying myself so much. I'm not reading the chart again. Oh, where the hell is stand 5? Taxi stands and coordinates. Stand 5.
Where, Nico, you have to go all the way around the back.
Yeah. Uncle John, I see I am at the back, so I'm okay. I need to basically taxi forward, turn left once and then right once, and then I'm there, it seems.
It's a bit of a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, but great fun, great fun. Martin, thank you for that wisdom. Next to 4. How's that? Parking stand 5 is next to 4.
Because I've got traffic on.
Right, 5 Juliet Papa. From my charts on here, it's saying if you continue all the way around, continue forward, don't go left. Apparently, there's taxiway that takes you to stand 5.
Thank you, sir. I managed to get my charts on board now, so I've got a very good idea how to get there. Thank you for your assistance, Ryanair 5, Juliet Papa. Dimitri, I will give you a screenshot shortly. Are you not a member of the Zibo Pilots group on Facebook yet? Hello, High Flyer. Awesome, awesome. There's the controller, guys. There's the ATC. High Flyer 101. Awesome.
We interrupt this program for an important bulletin.
Hello to everyone on the stream. I'm just going to do something a little bit cheeky for some people that are supporting the streamer today. Shout out to Paul B, hello. Also shout Martin, hello.
Ah, you're welcome. Dimitri, look in the description below the video. Same goes for everybody else. If you want to join us on the Zibo Pilots group with some of the team members as well, please just follow the link. If you do decide to join, make sure you answer the questions. You're not coming into our group if you do not answer the questions. Even if you answer 2 out of 3, it's fine, it's good enough. But I'm tired of allowing bots and salespeople to come in for no reason. Please, guys, have a heart. Right, let's quickly see. I suppose, according to the chart, it's going to be the second one. Right, I hope. Bournemouth ground 5 Juliet Papa on the stand, on the blocks.
Right now, 5 Juliet Papa, thank you. Also, just let everyone know on the stream, Stansted Tower and potentially one of our new ground controllers will be online at London Stansted tonight from 1700 Zulu. That's 5 PM in UK time. Make sure to bring us some traffic.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for your service. Have a great day there.
Going to be training for the ground controller.
Yeah, training is always a good thing. I'm going to be doing a training stream on the Zibo later this evening again. I've not decided where I'm going to fly, but the time you've given is, you know, right in the middle. So I'm not sure if I'm personally going to make it, but thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, you can do the training flight from London Stansted if you wish.
Yeah, it's just the timing. The timing might be a bit of an issue because I'm starting at 1600 Zulu and I'm expecting the training to take about 4 or 5 hours. So I'm not sure where we're going to be at that point in time, what we're going to do. So just bear that in mind. But thank you anyway. Righto, guys, let's see that we've done everything we should. The engines are still running. Can drop them. We've got the APU on the bus, ground services, GPU, set the jocks. We're gonna come back to that when we can stop that, make sure all the lights are off, get the passenger sign off, and let's try this. Ground services. Why don't we use the air stair for a change? Makes for a nice change. Alright, let's see if I can actually log this flight, if they will accept it. I'm not sure if Ryanair is going to accept this.
Is that because of the go around?
Bouncing more than anything else. Right, I'm off the Ivea network. And I forgot to do my replay. I actually just feel like doing a replay now. Remove the chocks. Right, so Alt R to get into replay mode and go check this. Dimitri, I've just allowed you in. Rahul, if you are on stream with us, I'm not sure why you didn't answer the questions. Please, we need questions answered. If you've got a problem, please send me a PM and we can sort it out. But I can't let guys into the group if the questions are not answered. There you go, Dominic. Thank you so much. I was not on screen, so sorry. I'm watching it again. Now, guys, just as a matter of interest, this is default scenery. I've tried to look for it on my system. If I make a mistake, I apologize. But this is, as far as I know, default scenery. And I want to tell you something. It's kind of good. It's really nice.
I'm just downloading one from the org, Nick.
I saw there was one, Uncle John, but it looked like Mickey Mouse. I wasn't, unless you got a better one. I wasn't happy.
Look, I'm just about to drop it in now.
That's where I hit the tiller. Oops. I tell you what, that tiller is not that easy to turn. Not in real world. I've tried. When you taxi that big bird, that tiller doesn't do that. Yeah, absolutely. Reverses worked. I had a bit of a fright. I mean, I was trying to stop in the next moment. I just saw that speed vector go, and I heard the engines rev up, and I knew now I'm in trouble. I need to go around.
Mr. Controller wants to see the go around.
Okay. I'm not sure how far back to go, so just bear with me. I need to find it. There we go. There we go. So there's us coming into land the first time.
Nico, can you tell me which button you have set up to turn off the autopilot and the alarm, please?
Yeah, if you give me a chance, let's quickly go through the go around, and then I'll gladly show you.
Yeah, no problem.
I presume your real name is Dominic, right?
Yes.
Alright, okay, then I've got the right guy.
But have I entered the group on Facebook?
I don't know. I'll have a look now.
I know it's your Facebook that I did. Yours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Zibo now.
Yeah. Sorry, my angles and things are not right. I just want to get a better look at that. Right, there it goes. The speed brakes. Okay, so here we are basically configured. Now we just need to see what happened. Alright, sorry guys. Just want to get myself a good position that I feel comfortable with. Yeah, maybe just leave it like that. Right, so there's the bounce. There you see the bounce. There's the second touchdown, and the reverses never came out. You see how it works in the Zibo is you activate the reversers. So you, in other words, you basically lift the little levers, you know, like an inch, and then you, in the real aircraft, you would lift them completely to the top. And on the SciTech throttle, what we do is you have to press the two throttles full forward to get full reverses. Otherwise, you remain in reverse idle. And obviously, if the SciTech didn't send the command, I didn't press it hard enough to actually activate the reversers, and I press full forward to get full reverse thrust, I'm actually giving full thrust. So that's just a quick explanation. And there I was struggling to get control, and I said, hold on, let's give it a minute, let's just get control first and do what we need to do. I was looking for the charts, pressing buttons, and then there we go. I think about there when the engine started spooling up again. We went to level change, I think. Something like that. The replay isn't really nice for all the animations and stuff. Yes, Paul?
I was going to ask, I didn't notice the spoilers come up when you touched down there. Or
oh. I
don't think so.
It's it is possible that it didn't. Because there they are up. Then I stowed them. You see, that could be another mistake. I might have pressed my number 3 button twice. So instead of arming them right there, I actually disabled them. That's also a possibility, Paul. So then we had double trouble. You know, you didn't get reverse thrusters, you didn't get your spoilers. Yeah, wow. But like you said, at least now we got some training out of it. You know, it shows you
Absolutely.
what can go wrong and how to not freak out and actually get control back.
Absolutely right. Yeah. When things go wrong for me, I sometimes make the mistake of trying to sort the automation out rather than actually fly the bloody plane.
Yeah, and you're right. Look there. There's no spoilers. I obviously disabled them. Thank you, High Flyer. Dare I say this? I'm actually proud of myself. I'm actually glad this happened. Now, you know, thinking back in hindsight, this is actually awesome. iFlyer, I've been flying online with iVeo and VATSIM for many, many years. I made sure that I got my first 1,000 hours online on iVeo, and then I moved to VATSIM. Got another 1,000 and something there. Then I started doing air traffic control on VATSIM. Whew, this looks amazing as it bounces like that. Those poor people at the back were going, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Shame. So anyway, I take ATC seriously because of my time as an air traffic controller online as well, you know. So I've got both sides of the coin, understand both sides, and obviously when I stream like this and I've got 20 plus people watching, I don't like making a fool of myself, you know. Inevitably it happens sometime, but thank goodness today was one of those times where it actually worked out for the better. So I'm happy. I'm happy to do the best I can with what I've got. Let's check this landing now again. Awesome. Yeah, there's the speed brakes ball and there's the reverse thrusters. And I at one point in time got a bit worried that the auto brake 2 wasn't going to be good enough, because I mean, look there, look, we're running out of real estate very fast,
Yeah.
That's where I hit this stupid tiller. Anyway, I was talking about the tiller earlier. Yes, you must try and taxi this thing in the real world. It's not, you cannot pump it like that. It doesn't work that way. But anyway, this is the sim. Yes, Paul.
No, I was just going to say that controllers they're very serious about their hobby, so they should be treated with respect, shouldn't they? So
Everybody should. But you know, we've talked about it many times now. Look at poor Flight Deck to Sim, how he gets trolled. You know, and I've had it. You know, people do the darndest things when they don't respect somebody. You know, they might think it's funny, but it's not, and you get it unfortunately all over. In my experience, I want to tell you something else. Between iVeo and VATSIM, there's more respect on the iVeo network than there is on the VATSIM network. And I don't know why. It's just a cultural thing or something. I don't know. Oh, yes, 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 yes.
And presumably, controllers like interesting things to come along. You know,
of course.
Things that are out of the ordinary. They'd probably like to see the occasional go around and having to think on their feet as well.
Well,
not that they do that.
Yeah, one of the things while I was doing my ATC training and work is, if everything is automated, you really don't have a job. If you understand what I mean, it takes the fun out of it. It makes it boring. I mean, one of the things that we did at one stage for a long time is we didn't give the guys SIDs and stars, because otherwise, I mean, you say to them, take the SID, take the star, and they go. At some point in time, we said, no, hang on, we're going to do vectors. And when we started vectoring the guys, you know, so. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Ryanair. So anyway, there you go, Dimitri. There's the thing. Take your screenshot. That's my settings.
Nico,
Yeah.
the scenery is much better. The downloadable one. I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you. Now I'll have a look. All right. So, if you guys want the ND overlay, I don't know if you guys actually noticed this. Let's go back to the replay. Let's see if I can actually show you this. I've actually got XRAS on my ND. I'm not sure if it will show in the replay, but it actually displays the XRAS over there where the mouse is. If you guys want that enabled in your Zibos, what you need to do is you need to download the file that I wrote for it. So that's also, it's in my description below the video. Go to my private hangar, go find the explain and Zibo folder, and then the XRAS folder. There's an ND overlay CFG that you need to copy and paste into your XRAS folder, into the data folder of XRAS. It will overwrite the original, and then you'll have your display right here on your ND like the real aircraft. And I see it doesn't work in the replay, unfortunately, but if you replay the video, you'll see it actually shows you that.
Yeah, that was a good touchdown.
I liked it. Awesome, Dimitri. When I wrote the file, I made sure that it covers the 700 and the 900 as well, so all the Zibos will work. Thank you, Uncle
Did you
John.
say the ND overlays config?
Yes. Yeah. Well, guys, that's about it for me now. If you are looking for some Zibo training later on, you are welcome to join me at 1600 Zulu. I'm preparing for 4 to 5 hour session. It might or might not go that long. So if you plan on coming around, bring your own cookies and tea and beer or whatever that's going to pull you through that one. And please bring a lot of questions. As we go on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a lot of settings. I'm going to show you a lot of nice to haves, and then we'll do a bit of a flight plan together, then translate that into the FMC, and then, just talk about it as we go on, and
Nico, before you go, can you show me the button for the
yes. Yes.
autopilot?
Yes. Nope. Let's go to B738. Should be in here somewhere. Nope, it won't be because it's over here. There, AP disconnect. So if we go to edit, AP disconnect, there you go. The one that's highlighted, Dominic. So if you look at the top, basically my button number 8, that one, is linked to AP disconnect. Then number 9 is linked to the actual command A. Let's quickly go there. I want to cancel that. If we go to that one, it says command A, and that's to enable and disable my command A. So there again, it's the right one, that one that's highlighted. You got it, Dominic?
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello, I'm trying.
Good morning, Jen. Sorry I'm late.
Morning, Mac.
That's fine, that's fine. Well, hi, Flyer, I hope you enjoyed that. And let's read the next message. Yeah. Enjoy, Dimitri. Yeah, you can just enjoy it with a popcorn.
I did catch the first touchdown and the go around, but I didn't want to interrupt being as I wasn't here.
No, that's fine. You're welcome, my flyer. You can join us on Discord. I will keep an eye out for all the new guys joining on Discord, because once you get in, I need to give you your actual proper rights, which I'm doing right now for you. High flyer. There you go. The only channel that you guys cannot enter, there's only 1 or 2 people or 3 people maybe that can enter in here, is the Zibo development team guys and Uncle John. The rest of you I need to pull in here, so don't worry about it. Just make sure I see you and then I'll pull you in. All right. Thank you guys. Stay well. We'll talk again soon.
See you later.
Cheerio.
Thank you, Nico.
Pleasure.